Okay, now we come to Peter. So yours, Peter.
Let me unmute myself here. I'm happy to be here. And hello, everyone. Today, where is this? Oh, here we go. Once the Buddha was asked, "Are you a god?" And he answered, "No." He was asked, "Are you an angel?" And the Buddha said, "No." "Are you a human being?" The Buddha said, "No." And then he was asked, "Then what are you?" And he says, "I am awake. I am the Buddha, the fully awakened one." And today I want to talk about self-confidence and how the Dharma Teacher Order has helped me find self-confidence in myself when otherwise it just wasn't there. The Dalai Lama made a quote on self-confidence. He said, "Self-confidence is knowing that we have the capacity to do something good and firmly decide not to give up." On through my childhood, as I was growing up, I always felt like I was never good enough, that others had it and I didn't. So I pretty much was a loner most of my childhood. Being raised in a Christian household, I was taught to trust in God, that He would do it for me when I couldn't do it for myself. And through this time, I would battle mild forms of depression, low self-esteem, lack of self-confidence, that kind of thing. I remember lying in bed and praying, make me smart, what's wrong with me. And for years, I really didn't see, I would ask God to please make me a better person, basically. And I didn't see any real change. But in my 30s, my late 30s, I discovered Buddhism. And several passages, several suttas brought great illumination to me and promoted personal growth. One is the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, and the other is Attadappiya Sutta. I got that right. In the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, it says, "Therefore, Ananda, dwell as a lamp unto yourself, refuge unto yourself, seeking no other refuge. Dharma as your lamp. Dharma is your refuge. Seek no other refuge." And in the Attadappiya Sutta, the Buddha says, "Monks, be an island unto yourselves. Be your own refuge, having no other. Let the Dhamma be an island and the refuge to you, having no other. Those who are islands unto themselves should investigate to the very heart of things." So in Buddhism, we are taught to study and to learn the Dhamma for ourselves, not to rely on personal views of others, whether it be written down or in a book, or that is centuries old, or something that's just spoken in the street. The Buddha taught us to question everything, not to rely on other people's or another God's opinion, but to search for the truth for ourselves. Even the teachings of the Buddha himself must be questioned and fleshed out for ourselves and experienced for ourselves. The idea of faith in Buddhism is a bit different from that of other schools and what other schools teach. The Buddha teaches us in the beginning that we must have faith in the Dhamma and the teachings. We must have confidence that the teachings will work and are worth listening to. But as we progress in our spiritual path, we begin to realize the truth for ourselves. So when we are living, so by that time, we are no longer living by faith, but by experience. Through our own experience, we know that this stuff really works. So, you know, we start out by believing that this stuff works, but then we realize through experience that it's, so we're led by our knowing that it works. This is the way we begin to believe in ourselves and develop a healthy sense of self-confidence. In this, we can realize true wisdom. And I want to say, when I began going to the classes of the Dharma teacher order, I was very new to Buddhism 4 years ago, and I just went to read the books and to listen to people who knew more about Buddhism than I did, and kind of as an educational thing for me, because I really didn't know much. But as I went more frequently, people would ask me, you know, do a presentation. I was like, oh, heck no, I am not doing a presentation. No, you know, I'm not doing it. So finally, I kind of broke down and I said, okay, you know, I'll do a presentation. And I remember my first book was the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, which is an amazing book, by the way.
Ooh.
But doing this presentation was a real breakthrough for me because it helped me improve my skills. No, because I kind of was able to break the ice and do a presentation. And I have found that I've given more presentations after that, and my skills improve every time with each presentation. I'm still scared to death sometimes, but I do see progression. As a child, I had major dreams. I wanted to, first of all, become an artist, and the second of all, being raised in a Christian home, a minister. Of course, now it's more spiritual teacher. I think that's where the term I would use now. The Dharma teacher order and the teachings of the Buddha have truly changed my life as a person, helping me realize within myself to think for myself and to, yes, I can do it. I can become not only a student of the Buddha, but a lay teacher of Buddhist teaching. Something I really want to do my entire life is to be a spiritual teacher from childhood. So now, after being the 4th year of being in the Dharma teacher order, I am working together with Ruth to do a teaching class at the temple that we have, Buddhism 101. And that's a class that's geared toward people who are new to Buddhism, who really know almost nothing, or maybe just want to know a little more about the Dharma, a little more about the teachings. And I have taken part in teaching some of those classes. I think I've done 2 already. And this would have never happened 4 years ago. I would never have dreamed that I would ever been able to do this. So oftentimes it's my experience that miracles are often in short supply. We must not rely on them, but or some other being to make our lives better. At the end of the day, we really must learn to do it for ourselves, and otherwise it won't happen. I have made a choice not to denounce the idea of gods, but to understand that we don't need them to get to where we need to be. You know, it's kind of up to us. We must find confidence in ourselves and be the change that we want to see in the world. No other time is it more important than the present moment when the world today is, you know, turned so upside down that we really need to do this. I don't know how much time I have.
You have 1 minute.
Well, I'm pretty much done, so lucky me. So I want to say thank you for everyone who's listening, and basically help me find a way to believe in myself when otherwise I wouldn't have. So that's me going out.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you.
Peter, I'll just share with you very quickly, when I was first being ordained as a Dharma teacher, I remember the night before we were at the New York retreat, and I was, it may have even been the Dharma Festival, I don't remember, but I kind of told the group at large that I didn't feel really right. I didn't feel worthy of becoming, ordained. And I remember specifically Fernando saying something very, very simple that has stuck with me forever, that said, you're not doing this by yourself. You have the entire lineage before you that is propping you up. So you're never really alone. And so the self-confidence really comes when you recognize, to steal from Ruth, that it's inner being. Again,
Right.
We all there with you when you're presenting.
Right.
Thank you.
And I have learned from everyone. I can say that, from Ruth, from Dave, and seeing them present, being able to, and to read the books. I have learned that way as well. So yeah, that's definitely.
My guess is they've learned from you as well. Just know that.
Yes, and that's true. Ruth has told me that. So yes, that's definitely true.
I can absolutely say that's true, and I love your topic today, Peter, and just kind of reflecting back on my experience of watching this unfold, and then hearing you talk about your experience over these past few years, and it's incredibly empowering and encouraging for me, because I know maybe I don't always show this side of myself, but I have experienced a significant amount of lack of self-confidence and stuff with depression and all sorts of stuff. And stuff that you're talking about right now speaks deeply to my experience of my own life. And I'm just deeply grateful. And I love your Dalai Lama quote that you shared with us too, and the sutras that you quoted from. So thank you,
Peter. I
Yes.
also wanted to congratulate you and
You.
to let you know how wonderful it is to see your flower growing from a very shy individual a few years back who didn't say much, turned to it was in the back of the room, to somebody who can talk about the Dharma so well as you did today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But I often find that when you talk from your own personal experience, that 9 times out of 10 other people are experiencing the same thing, because we're really all having a very similar experience in different ways. So in order to speak to other people, it's good to speak from personal experience, because a lot of people are feeling in the same way. It's not just me or somebody else. So, and also in really and incorporating it into everyday life and how it works for us. I think that's very important. We can read a lot of sutras and a lot of books and a lot of things, but at the end of the day, life application is very important. So that's why enjoying everyday life in the present moment with the Dharma is very important to me. And so I think other people, I would hope so.
Ruth, bowing in, I want to say, Peter, bravo. And yes, I have learned immeasurably from you, and from watching your growth and seeing your very honest, very sincere, and highly insightful presentations and incorporation and interpretations of the Dharma. It's I'm honored to be your friend and and your Sangha sister. Yeah, I really am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Phil, Norman. Peter, I also want to thank you as well, and I want to piggyback on what Dave said. That it actually speaks to my personal experience as well. So it's really it's joyful for me to see and to hear that, right, reflected in another human being, and to see also that growth, the same exact growth and confidence that I felt through the Dharma, through Buddhism, and through the practice. And as you were saying, that yes, ultimately experience, empirical experience is what's valuable, is the value. Anyone can challenge our intellectual knowledge, but no one can challenge our personal experience. So thank you for that.
Because knowledge can be a very good thing, but knowledge can also be a block. So it's more about personal experience, wisdom, and putting it into practice that makes it really where we want to be. So, you know, not to get caught up in the books, but to somehow find a balance between the knowledge and the wisdom, and knowledge and combining it with wisdom, and kind of finding a middle path there. And I think that's really what Buddhism is all about, is the middle path and a balance. It's all about balance. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
think it demonstrates that we all get here by different routes. It sounded like you knew what you wanted to do, but just recently gained the confidence to do it.
Right, exactly.
I went through Toastmasters 20 years ago, and I learned to speak with confidence and not show the fear that I have inside. But it's just been within the last 3 or 4 years that I found something that I feel is worth teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so very much. We have roughly 45 minutes left. So if anyone else wants to do an impromptu 5-minute Dharma sharing, please express yourself right now, or if not, we'll just continue with the program and invite Tay and Fernando to share. Okay.